have you guys noticed that a lot of PlayStation fanboys did not cover this interview? And it has a lot to do with the fact that it makes Sony look vulnerable, right? They're completely avoiding this interview. And matter of fact, this interview and this documentary came out about 3 days ago, and yet not one single PlayStation fanboy channel that I know is even talking about it.
About Microsoft buying Activision and what that could mean for exclusives.
Tell them, Jim.
For cloud streaming.
Let these PlayStation fanboys know what's really going on here.
At the same time, Sony has done very similar things, buying studios to make them exclusive or making exclusive deals with companies like Square. In your view, why was the Activision deal wrong or bad for the industry?
No. Don't say it's bad for the industry. Say it's bad for Sony, because they had no problem doing it when they were at the top of the food chain. Now all of a sudden they got a problem because Microsoft's doing it. I swear, it's like that robot from Dragon Ball Z when Vegeta's like, "Oh, you don't want to play anymore? You had fun when you was sucking the life out of Kakarot, and now you don't want to play anymore because I'm a healthy Super Saiyan and you can't stop me? Come on, bro. Let's go."
I felt this one was different.
Of course you felt it was different. Because you know why? Because ain't nobody going to buy your exclusive games anymore. That's why.
To anything that had happened in the past was the sheer size and importance of the Call of Duty franchise.
Oh, man. Jim Ryan's still talking about Call of Duty, man. You know, sometimes you got to wonder if he plays this game at home himself.
We were absolutely thrilled to be able to negotiate a deal with Microsoft to ensure that...
Wow, you hear that? Negotiating deals with Microsoft, and yet you guys think that Sony has a problem with Microsoft. You see this? Look at that. You know, Sony caved in.
Remains available on PlayStation platforms for the next 10 years.
You see how he didn't care about any other platform. He wanted to make sure that game stayed exclusively to PlayStation for 10 years, man. You see? Microsoft was going to take this game away from you. I told you guys that Jim Ryan was begging, please, we need this game for 10 years. That's why Sony, within this 10-year margin, is trying to do their own live service and subscription games to the point where they're like, whatever Microsoft decides to do 10 years from now, we'll have something where we can make money. Do you get what I'm saying? But Microsoft was going to single-handedly take this game away from you. But at the end of the day, they don't care that if it's on PlayStation, because you know why? It only benefits them anyway. Why not? Why not take advantage of these PlayStation dummies while you still can? And that's why Microsoft also supported Sea of Thieves. You might as well.
It was very important to us, and we're very happy to have done that deal.
Wow.
But the timeline is a little different, though, right? Because why didn't you agree to the deal when it was first offered? And instead you were part of...
PlayStation fanboys don't want to bring up this interview, man. Matter of fact, I'm probably the first person that's even talking about it. You guys call yourself gaming channels and PlayStation fanboys, but I'm out here showing people an interview, a new interview, mind you, where you can see it at CNBC, and you guys can look at the interview for yourself, and you can see the vulnerability in Sony as a company.
The case with the FTC, a key witness for the FTC.
Yeah, you know, we're at risk of getting very granular here, but there are deals and deals.
Look,
you let it deal
he's
with...
stuttering, man. Y'all got the CEO of PlayStation stuttering. And they talk about how they not scared of Microsoft.
It was offered at a certain point of time, and they noted in the deal that was actually signed.
Microsoft's Activision acquisition was by far the most expensive in...
He's right about that. Jim Ryan is right about that, because Microsoft didn't want it to 10 years, man. So you guys got to give a special shout out to Jim for even keeping Sony afloat. Microsoft wanted that game off your platform, bro. They were really trying to hurt you. And that's why you Sony fanboys are so hurt about what Microsoft's doing to you, because they finally came in and took over the gaming industry overnight, literally over a payment of $69 billion. And they took over the gaming industry, which that's what you people wanted, right?
History. And
you wanted Microsoft to compete, and now they're here to compete, and now y'all people got a problem with it.
And double Microsoft's second largest acquisition of its 2016 purchase of LinkedIn.
I see the consolidation in the industry. I see people like Microsoft or Embracer or some groups out of Saudi Arabia buying up a bunch of studios. And I see consolidation to be the enemy of creativity. We've commoditized the product.
That's funny, considering that Sony kept a lot of third-party games exclusively to their platform, and now you guys have a problem with Microsoft doing it. Funny thing is, I like the fact that you didn't bring up Nintendo, and Nintendo's been doing it way before even Sony came up with their first console. You know, like I said, you guys are mad because it's not fair anymore. Microsoft has all the money. They can do what they want. Boo-hoo. You've been doing it for over 20 years through PlayStation's history. And the funny thing is, he got a Pokemon thing in the background. It's so funny. Even Sony CEOs don't even care about Sony, man. Man, he's a Nintendo fanboy. Look at this. Where's the Sony stuff? This man got a plush toy of a Pokemon of a Nintendo. Man, at this point, Sony's done. Sony's done, man. Where's the Sony stuff? You see, even Sony themselves don't even care about their games.
You're just going to get more of the same.
They're not iconic.
Time in the gaming industry, Sony itself has also acquired more than a dozen games.
And that's not a lot, bro. That's not a lot, because I can break this down for you right now. Naughty Dog takes too long to make games. Guerrilla takes too long to make games. Sucker Punch, Insomniac, these are some of their biggest companies, right? Blue Point mostly just works on remasters and remakes. So when you look at what you're dealing with here, and you see what Microsoft's got, dude, man, I'm telling you, Microsoft got the studios, bro. There's no way possible that you guys think that Sony got more studios than Microsoft, bro. Like, I mean, how many studios? I mean, count how many. There's like, what, about 12 studios here, right? Just an estimate. That's not a lot, man, considering that a lot of these studios take a long time to make video games. And you know what I find even more funny? I don't even think they added Bungie to this list. You acquired Bungie and you didn't even put them there.
Studios, and many of these studios have gone on to produce some of its biggest hits. Insomniac Games was behind the PlayStation 5's record-breaking success with Spider-Man 2 in 2023. And now, the way these games are being played is also evolving.
Yep, you hear that? The ways we play games is also evolving. This is where they touch up on the fact that gaming is pushing for live services, subscriptions, and even Sony knows it. Let's go. Let's go. What you PlayStation fanboys gonna say after this?
Sony's game revenue has shifted overwhelmingly from physical discs to digital downloads.
Wow, look at that. That's a huge difference, bro. And you guys still have faith. And it's so funny that you guys say that Microsoft is the one out here pushing digital sales. No, it's you consumers. I mean, look at it, bro. Look at this. This is what you guys are doing, okay? You guys are buying digital less and less every single year, man. I mean, physical, I'm sorry. Geez, I said digital. Look at this. Look at the digital sales, man. Unbelievable, bro.
Both Xbox and PlayStation began introducing entirely disc-free consoles with the Xbox Series S and the PlayStation 5 in 2020.
Because people ain't using them.
Both companies are also improving their ability for users.
Physical media is gone, bro. Like, if you couldn't sit there and look at those metrics and say, yeah, I think physical's gone, bro. It's losing every single year.
Stream games directly from the cloud. Both Sony and Microsoft utilize in-house servers for streaming games.
For Microsoft, the advantage of doing that is that they own Azure, and in that respect, obviously their cost to deliver that experience is going to be lower.
Microsoft controls 60 to 70% of the overall cloud gaming market.
Woo! And it's so funny that you guys think that Microsoft doesn't own a huge portion of the gaming industry. Matter of fact, that companies work on your own games with the Havoc engine. Bro, it's done. It's so funny that you guys say PlayStation is the market leader. Even Nintendo uses the Havoc engine for some of their games, which happens to be a Microsoft-owned engine. So what are you people crying about? I told you guys, Microsoft has always been the market leader, and all you people can do is bring up, console sales. Bro, Microsoft is way bigger than that, okay? Matter of fact, even Steam and all those operating systems all use Windows, which is owned by Microsoft. You people are not peeping it. Every time Sony decides to put a game on PC, they're supporting Microsoft because it's running off their operating system.
PlayStation Plus has about 8 million subscribers to its premium tier that allows users to stream from the cloud.
And Microsoft has way more than that.
That's about 17% of its users that pay for its subscription gaming service. However,
you see how they're making a lot of money off that?
Cloud gaming accounts for a small part of the overall gaming market. Cloud-enabled gaming generated just over $5 billion in revenue.
Which is actually kind of impressive. Y'all like, that's not impressive. It is. It's very impressive considering the fact that now we're starting to see a shift. Now, it's probably not as much as like how we got gaming today, But if you notice, it's an untapped market, and that's why Microsoft is going for it.
2022,
Clearly.
which pales in comparison to the $35 billion in console game sales.
And y'all like, oh, see, you see, consoles are gonna exist. You see, that's fine, and that's. See, you're not looking at it, bro. You're not looking at cloud gaming is just starting now. You feel me? You people are not understanding. It's no different. I told you, we are in the situation of Blockbuster and Netflix. Okay, yes, with what's working now is fine, but you're not seeing that untapped market. Microsoft sees it. I think Sony does see it too. There's an untapped market there. Microsoft's like, there's a way that we can monetize the hell out of this. Let's go for it, while also keeping the console as well as whatever else they're trying to go for.
Just counted the number of times over very many years that people have said the era of the console is over. Cloud will emerge, and it will, over time, become a significant component of the way that people enjoy interactive.
Look at that. Jim Ryan just exposed you guys. You guys said that it wouldn't, and Jim Ryan is out here telling you that cloud gaming is the future. GameStop, ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl. GameStop with another W.
But it's not there yet.
It's not there yet. And that's what I've told you guys. That's why when I told you that 10, 15 years from now, you're going to see some changes. We're seeing these changes now, right? Bro, how many W's can I win? Bro, that's all I'm doing is winning. And that's why you people are upset at me, you know? Because I'm always winning and I'm always right, bro. I told you guys this.
Especially considering...
Now you got Jim Ryan from Sony telling you, and what are you going to say now? Oh, he got left out from the company. He still has involvement because they have him doing his documentary. You know what I mean? He just probably has a lesser position.
I think that the telecommunications infrastructure needed for smooth gameplay is just not strong enough in much of the world, including certain parts of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that there is a rural broadband initiative.
And once that finally gets up there, which is what Microsoft's banking on, there's going to be no point for a console because you can essentially play your games through a calculator and they're going to look good.
In the federal government indicates that rural broadband needs work.
This inequality in internet connectivity can also lead to delays in digital downloads, indicating the modern relevance of physical discs for both PlayStation and Xbox.
And oftentimes when people talk about things like console wars and exclusivity and that kind of thing, they really compare PlayStation and Xbox more directly. Nintendo doesn't get talked about.
Which is kind of funny considering that Nintendo's the only one with the most successful exclusives more than anybody, but yet they don't even get talked about.
The same breath as often, I feel like people kind of just let Nintendo be its own thing.
Yet Nintendo Switch is the second best-selling video game console of all time, behind the PS2.
I think that maybe the mobility aspect of it, and because it's a handheld, people think about it.
Well, essentially, like I've said before, they merged their home console and their portable console together, right? So it's the best of both worlds. I knew when the Wii U was a failure, they were going to adopt the mindset of the 3DS, right? I think when one of the people at Nintendo said we wanted to have every aspect of what made Nintendo important, and you could see that with how they designed the Nintendo Switch. The Switch is literally based off the Wii U gamepad. The Joy-Con, the colorful Joy-Cons is based off the N64. The portable gaming is based off their portable devices from before. So clearly there's a lot of inspiration. They took the best thing out of every Nintendo console and added into one. And that's why the Nintendo Switch is a success.
Almost more.
It appeals to children. It can appeal to adults. It can appeal to hardcore gamers. It has a lot of different demographics. And it has great quality games.
Competing against a phone than not a console, but it is a console. If you think about what PlayStation has done now with a handheld that you can pair with your PS5 and be able to move around the home, it kind of shows that they see Nintendo as a competitor.
Shortly before Christmas, we launched PlayStation Portal, which is a device that allows people to use our remote play functionality.
You know what? And I got a bold thing. Y'all ready for this, bro? You know what? I just found a way how Sony can still exist. You know how Sony can beat Microsoft? Y'all ready for this? Sony need to stop copying Microsoft. And you know who they need to start copying? I'm about to say it. Y'all like, what? The Nintendo Switch. Y'all like, what? Man, gangster, man. Get off the pony dust, man. It's too much. No, it might work. A lot of PlayStation fans have been disappointed that they haven't had a real portable, right? Think about that. We all know that. How about if they had a PlayStation 5 where you could play at home and play on the go? Y'all like, whoa, that might be a good idea. Imagine playing. And remember, the Steam Deck kind of alluded to this, right? Imagine PlayStation 5 having a portable console that you could also play at home at the 4K and the resolutions that y'all like, and also taking it on the go. Y'all like, oh my God, bro, I'm telling you right there, PlayStation will be successful right there. And also, it'll be a direct competitor to the Nintendo Switch. That would be amazing. And you know what's even more incredible is the fact that Microsoft will be making games for it, which might not be as optimal for the Nintendo Switch. So PlayStation will have the better versions. Woo! I just saved PlayStation, man. I just saved them right there. You would have a PSP and a PS5 and all in one. Oh, man.
To enjoy PS5 gaming experiences in a handheld environment.
But the PS Portal is not going to work in that same regard because it's tethered to the PS5 console.
In years, there has also been an increase in leveraging the iconic PlayStation content.
And you have to have the PS5 on, which kind of beats the purpose.
Outside the gaming space.
But considering that game is losing physical media, Sony don't have to worry about putting cartridges. All they got to do is have their app on the store where you download games and have your applications and play them that way. That would work. Really no different than the Steam Deck.
Pleased about the early successes of PlayStation Productions working with Sony Pictures.
But I feel like Sony dropped the ball because they kind of already messed up when they dropped a lot of their games on Steam, you see, which can also be played through the Steam Deck.
We've taken some of our best IP and converted that to movies, with Uncharted, to the TV
you hear
format.
This? They took their best game formats and turned them into the movies. Wow. Explains everything about PlayStation. Explains everything about... Look at this.
And Sony plans to keep increasing the intellectual property within its systems. By 2025, the company says it expects to be putting 50% of its investment into new IP. That compares to just 20% back in 2019.
Hey, they were only putting 20%? Oh,
it's an important piece to kind of cement that idea that games are part of pop culture now, and we reach broader audiences every time.
Yeah,
quality in the adaptations is just as important as the quality of the games that we make.
But the gaming industry is facing some headwinds. Thousands of jobs
Sony needs to go multi-plat
industry in 2024, and last month Sony laid off 900 workers from its PlayStation division, or 8% of the unit's global workforce. Herman Hulst put out a statement that day saying, "We are at a stage where we need to step back and look at what our business needs."
Yep, and the fanboys ain't helping it.
At the same time, our industry has experienced continuing and fundamental change, which
and like I said, I think Sony need to go through this. I think this is very good news for PlayStation because, to be honest, this might better Sony, but they have to do it correctly. Okay, Sony's not dead. For all you Xbox fanboys saying, "Oh, Sony's dead," Sony's dead if they keep continuing with this. What they got going on, Sony's dead. But as of right now, they got to work with the ins and outs of their company, man. You can clearly tell. And they kind of keeping you guys on, on a farce. They're keeping you guys on this ruse. And, real gamers can see that. But I don't think Sony is completely going under in that fashion. Maybe they're just trying to find what works best for them. You know what I mean? And that could be anything. That could be going PC, going multiplayer. That could be anything. Okay? Never say never.
How we all create and play games.
Yep.
I would say that it's really important never to forget that we are in the entertainment business. And that's what we do. That's our strength. I think that's why we've enjoyed some considerable success over the last 30 years. Never losing sight of that as a cornerstone.
So you guys are saying that Sony's going under. Sony will never go under because Sony don't have to do that. Sony, all they got to do is make a distributing app with PC, and there they go. Sony's back in business. Same thing with Microsoft. So when you guys sit there and say, oh, console wars and all that, Microsoft's going under, Sony's going under, no. What classification are we using for going under? Are we saying that because they don't have their own home console, that means they've lost? Why does that even matter in the first place? You got to ask yourself that. Because at the end of the day, as long as Sony's still out here making games, let it be through PC or whatever other means, who's losing here? The games are still available. You know what's a loss? Seeing multiplayer games get canceled. That's a loss. Seeing games get canceled that people look forward to. That's a loss. Because that hurts us. That hurts the consumers, right? But to say that, because of Sony or Microsoft stopped making consoles, which that's the direction gaming is going, that we lost, how did we lose? The games are still here. You get what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Maybe I look at it differently, but you fanboys are so caught up into a piece of plastic, there's no talking to y'all. Yep. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, bro. But I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. You guys can go watch it yourself at the CNBC, right? This is a interview that PlayStation fanboys are not trying to talk about because it shows Sony in a vulnerable light. But I will say, just to add my own words of encouragement here, Sony can do it. I think if they do a PlayStation 5 or something equivalent to a Nintendo Switch with the type of power that they're pulling out, I think that would be perfect. You feel me? Dock it at home, take it on the go. Right there, they've already kind of cut into Sony's market share, and then they're getting Xbox games too. Some of those Xbox games are not going to be running that well on Switch. Right there's another attack at Nintendo. That's what Sony need to do. Sony needs to stop trying to compete with Microsoft because Microsoft already got it under control. You need to go compete with Nintendo. I'm telling you, that would really single-handedly change the gaming landscape if Sony went with a PS5 portable. Right? Portable home console. I think that's what Sony's got to do to change their company because it's going to cut into Nintendo's market share. And remember, now I'm not saying Nintendo's the only one there. Mobile's there, but there's not really a hardcore competitor in regards to portable consoles, right? There's not a hardcore competitor there. So Sony can also maintain it there with the Xbox, or I should say Microsoft, because they don't really care, and also cut into Nintendo's market share with the PS5, whatever they call it, that's portable home console, hybrid. Let me just call it a hybrid console. I think it's perfect, man. I think that's what we got to go for, man. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. And tell me what you guys think in the comment section.